Welcome into the new year with me. I'm Megan, and thanks for joining me. Today's practice is about flowing slow into the new year. You may want to have a blanket because we're going to be doing a number of poses on our knees, and it's nice to have a little bit of cush and comfort underneath your knees. But let's get started. Come down onto your mat. We're going to come onto our back. Take your time getting down to where you feel comfortable. Bend your knees, place your feet on the ground. Place one hand on your abdomen and the other on your heart. And take a few full diaphragmatic breaths. Visualize your breath coming all the way up from the abdomen through the throat. You can feel it enter through the nostrils. That beautiful inhalation, inspiration. And breathe out. Feel your breath going back down, emptying out the body. Sensation of the air going out the nose. Let the breath in invite you into vitality and life, wakefulness. And let the breath out balance that with a sense of relaxed awareness, allowing the back body to release into the ground, your feet to find and feel the ground, the base of the skull. Taking 3 more rounds of breath. And flowing through the new year is all about finding a comfortable breath. And I say that about the class. That's probably true with life as well. So we begin from there, and we'll do our first movement, Apanasana. Lift your feet off the floor, take the hands to the backs of the thighs. Let your lower legs hang, just nice and released and relaxed. Take a breath in, fill and vitalize. Take a breath out. Use the strength of your arms to pull the thighs toward you. Feel your tailbone lift up. And then breathe in, push the thighs away with the arms. Breathe out. Draw the thighs in. Very simple movement, just beginning to awaken the legs, the hips, the pelvis. Inhaling and exhaling. And just as we found that vitalizing breath, breathing in, we're still doing that, filling the torso, breathing out, releasing, relaxing into the ground, but now drawing the thighs towards you with the strength of the arms. If you want a little bit more kick in this one, you can inhale and extend the legs up towards the sky. Begin to stretch out that back line of the legs. And then breathe out, still bend the knees, draw the thighs towards you. Inhaling perhaps into extension, press through the heels and the balls of the feet. Exhale, relax the lower legs and draw the thighs in. And generally, we keep the knees in line with the hips, but if you want to get a little bit of a different feeling for the hips, you can take your legs wide apart or closer together as you're doing this. Be playful, be spontaneous, and explore. Always coming back to that support on the exhalation and feeling that lengthening, the fullness of the breath on the inhale. One last one, and then hug your knees into your chest. Squeeze them in as tight as you'd like. If you want to add your head, you can lift your chin up, draw your chin towards your chest, lift your shoulder blades, make yourself into a tight little egg. If this aggravates your neck in any way, just keep your head on the ground with the support of the floor. Squeeze yourself as tight as you can into a little ball. Really focus on that exhalation as you breathe out. Draw your abdominal wall in. You can draw your pelvic floor muscles in. Like you're squeezing everything out of you. Last breath out. Breathe in. You can grab the backs of the thighs again, and we're going to rock up, or you can use your hands to the side. Come on up to a seated position. We'll use the blanket for this very first posture, seated. So I like to take the blanket and turn the corner of the blanket towards the front of the mat. You're going to sit on it and scoot yourself forward till it feels like you're about to fall off. Your sits bones will be right on that corner edge. We're going to do a little bit of leg stretching here. So we'll start by leaving the left leg extended. You can You can send it out on its way if you want. And then take the right leg, bring the right foot into the inner thigh. So this is a Janu Sirsasana, and you can take your left leg straight off your hip if you want more of a stretch through the hamstrings, or you can go out to the side if that's more comfortable, get more into the inner groins. So start in this position and just make some circles with the upper body. Just warming up to the seated position, the way that the legs are falling into the ground. You can circle in both directions, feeling your breath. And then settle with the ears over the shoulders and the shoulders over the hips. We're going to do a little bit of a side bend in this one. So as you breathe in, reach your arms up. Lengthen through your spine. As you breathe out, take your left hand down and side bend over to the left, reaching with the right hand. Come back to the center. Reach up, both hands. Opposite side, right hand goes down, side bending to the right. And just feel this slow flow to the breath. As easy as you being able to pull your legs into your body. Sensing the one side and the other. Long spine on the inhale. You can almost just fall with gravity if you'd rather on the exhale. One side or the other. Take one more trip to either side. Just visiting. Notice the journey itself from point A to point B. And then next time you're side bent to the left, you can stay there and stay in the side bend. Or if you want to come more into the back line of the leg, whether your leg be straight off or to the side, come down towards the leg a little bit. We're going to take 5 rounds of breath, just being still. So the flowing is now not the motion, it's just being present in our breath. Last breath out. Wherever you are, breathe in, come back up, ears over the shoulders and shoulders over the hip. So I'm going to have you change the right leg position just slightly. So roll your weight into your left hip, squeeze your right leg in. We want to activate it to get it into this position. So I'm not using my hands to do this. And then I'm going to roll so far that I can take my right leg out to the side. So this is where this blanket can be really nice, because if you're falling all the way into the left hip and if there's too much discomfort, what we can do is take the blanket and put it underneath that left hip. Just give the left hip a little lift up. So we start from there again. You decide where you want that left leg to graze, whether it's straight off the hip or out to the side. We've got the internal rotation in the right leg. Tall spine, ground into your sit bones and make some circles. Starting with just the circles to find the comfort of the upper body resting into the pelvis, the legs resting into the ground. Just noticing the temperature of the breath on the edges of the nostrils. And settle at the center again. Breathe in, come up. Now we're going to go into a rotation. So as you breathe out, we'll rotate to the left first. Take your right hand to the outer left thigh. Left hand behind you. You can turn your head as well. Breathe in back to center, reach up. And breathe out, going to the right. Left hand behind you, right hand behind you. Left hand can cross the right thigh somewhere. Notice your pelvis stays still, and we create the rotation from the torso. Feel your rib cage, your shoulders, head and neck. Exhalation, soften the shoulders down. Inhalation, lengthen the spine, create this space to come into the rotation. Finish off this next round. And once again, we'll stop when we're at the left side in the rotation, and we'll just hold. If you need a little more stability, gently press the inner right knee or thigh down into the ground and press the back of the left leg into the ground. And use that concept of root to rise. As you breathe in, press into the sit bones, particularly the left one. Reach through the crown of the head, rise up. Breathe out, soften the shoulders. Relax whatever can be relaxed. Take one more round of breath. And then next breath in, return back to the center. We're going to switch out legs, but to do so, I want you to roll onto that left hip again. Not using your hands, but use the strength of the right leg muscles because we want a little counter pose here. Squeeze that right leg in, draw the top of the foot towards the shin, thigh towards your body. So those hip flexors are active coming out of it. And then you can plop that right leg down. So see where you want that blanket underneath you. We'll first come into the right leg long. Left foot will come into the inner right thigh somewhere, knee out to the side. Right leg can be straight off your body or out to the side. See what suits you. More groin stretch, more hamstrings. You can also bend your knee a little bit. Be forgiving. Find that position and make some circles. Sometimes too, I know this is my tighter, grumpy side, so sitting on the blanket's not working for you. The other way to use the blanket is to put it underneath that left knee. So, right, we've got support there too. So making those circles. Make it work for your body and recognize the two sides may need something different. Like you're making circles on your sits bones. Feel those little spirals. And you can switch the direction of the circles. And come to your center point. We'll do our side bend. Inhale, reaching up. As you exhale, take the right hand down and side bend over to the right with the left hand. Hello, left side. Inhale up again. Exhale over to the left. You can reach with the right hand. Remember that the arms are helping to lengthen, but it's the torso, it's the spine. See your spine bending as one side of the spine gets all this spacious freedom and the other side compresses. And the arm just goes along for the ride. Breathing in, we lengthen and create space. Breathing out, letting gravity have a little bit of us. Stay grounded through the back of the right leg, the base of your spine. Finishing this last round, moving slowly to your breath pace. Let your breath choose the pace of the movement. And next time we'll stop when we're to the right side, reach up. You can stay there in more of a side bend, or if you want, come forward slightly towards that right foot to whatever degree feels right for you. So side bend's going to take you, if your foot's out to the side, you're going to feel that stretch to the left side, but then you can add optionally the back of the right leg line by coming forward. 5 breaths in stillness, wakefulness, just feeling whatever your energy is today. Breathing out, breathe in, come back up, lift yourself up. We're going to be switching around this left leg. So last time I made the suggestion that if your internal rotators are a bit tight, you can put the blanket underneath your right hip. And then you want to roll onto that right hip, squeeze the left leg in, so use the hip flexors, and then take the inner knee down to the ground. Got to sit on my pedestal here. Wherever you want that right leg line, make it slightly active. Maybe toes point up, pressing through the heel. And just some small circles with the torso first. Familiarize yourself with the leg position. Let your brain just feel. So we try to prevent those red flags from going off on the seated position itself. Find the comfort in the position before we create rotation. Coming back to the center, rotate the spine. Breathing in, reach up. Breathing out, we're going to turn to the right. Left hand to the outside of the right thigh, right hand behind you. Breathing into the center. Breathing out to the left side. Let your arms follow your spine and your torso. Think of your spine like a spiral staircase. And you can take it all the way around one direction and then the other. I'll take one more full round, finish up wherever you are. Remember that feeling is healing. Now, this is the time of year so many people create intentions for themselves, generally for our healing, for our health and wellness. Let's exhale to the right. So this is healing, just being present in your body. That is the best present you can give yourself this year. Sense the rotation of the spine. Breathe in, pressing into the sits bone, especially that right side, reaching through the crown of the head. Breathing out, feeling that rotation but softening. And even in the stillness, you might slightly deepen the pose with each round of breath. Notice if your ribs are expanding and contracting with your breath. Last round. Breathe in, return to the center. We're going to roll onto the right hip again. Hug your left leg into your body, squeeze it in, the no hands method, and then take it out, extend it. You can keep the blanket underneath you or not. We're just going to do one more movement here. And you're going to bend your knees, place your feet on the ground, a little bit wider than hips usually is comfortable. We'll do some kind of a cat-cow movement for the spine. So as you breathe in, hold on to your shins, hold on tight, bring your heart forward and rock your pelvis forward. Your head can come up. As you breathe out, rock back, chin towards the chest, roll to the back of your tailbone or even onto your sacrum. Inhale, coming forward on the sits bones. Exhale, rocking back. Slightly pressing your feet into the ground. You can use the strength of the arms a little as we did in the opening pose, Apanasana. But let your spine be fluid. Heart forward, front body expands on the inhale. Heart back, back body expands on the exhale. One more round of easy seated cat and cow. And come to the center. So as I mentioned, we'll be on our knees for a bit. So this is where it's really nice to have this blanket. It's good for your knees, also for your feet, because we'll be in a child's pose, so your tops of your feet won't be compressed into the earth. So take that blanket, spread it out across your mat. We're starting by coming into all fours, onto our hands and knees. Find a good position for you. And then press into your hands, draw up through your shoulder blades a little bit, but not so far that you feel like they're spreading away from your spine, but not collapsing into them. And then draw your navel center just slightly up and in. Pause there for a moment, right at your center, so we're not lagging in our back. We want to lift that up a little bit. And we're going to breathe into our back side. So we call this the shadow side. Breathe in and lift the back and spine. So the opposite of what we were doing last time. And then breathe out. Just let it go. And for now, stay on all fours. Just think of moving from the tailbone to the base of the skull. Lift it all up around the spine. And breathe out. Just let gravity take your front body towards the ground. Breathing in. Open the back body. Feel your shoulder blades spread. Breathe out. Maybe you can sense the way the shoulder blades just kind of drip back towards the spine, sliding in. Feel all your ribs in the back, spreading as you breathe in and releasing as you breathe out. Let's add a little more movement to this. Breathe in and open the back body. Breathe out, press back. Keep your hands where they are so your arms are long, just as far as you can go comfortably. Breathe in, come back again. Arch the back. Breathe out. Come back. So we're used to doing the cat and the cow. We're mainly just doing that cat motion. Open the back body, then stretch it out, pressing back on the exhale. Coming forward. Back body opens wherever your head and gaze wants to go. Exhale back. Let's do one more in motion. Coming forward, open the back body. And as you breathe out, press back. So we're going to take the child's pose and hold it for about 5 rounds of breath. Take it where it's comfortable for you. And I'm going to encourage you to take your hands behind you, Let the backs of the hands rest. If your head doesn't touch the floor, you can use your arms or put a block or your blanket underneath. But let's rest here. Let the outer arms fall towards the ground. The front body relax towards the thighs, maybe on the thighs. Think of this shadow side, and we just finished an entire year that there may be some things we want to bring with us, or maybe things we want to leave behind. So we use the term to let things slide off our back. This is an opportunity to do that. And what are we carrying? As the Hawaiians say, what are you carrying in your bowl of light? No stones. Any of those stones on the backside, just let them go. 3 more rounds of breath. Take the hands back out in front of you. Come back to all fours. We're going to stretch the legs a little bit after that. So first, just take the left leg back, press through the heel, and rock back and forth. Just feels nice to decompress the knees and the thighs. Just taking a little rocking motion there. And then we're going to take that left leg out to the left side and come up onto your right knee. So we want to draw your right hip forward if you can. Drop your left hand, reach your right arm up. As you breathe out, side bend over to the left. Breathe in, come up to wherever you want to. You can stop with your hand over your shoulder or go further. Breathe out and just fall with gravity, just like we did when we were seated. Maybe a little bit of hugging the thighs together for more support. Inhaling up and exhaling, just falling towards that outer left leg. Check to see you're keeping your shoulder blade back. A lot of times we end up doing a rotation here too, so take that right shoulder blade back and let your torso move. One more motion. If you want to just stop and hold for a few breaths, please do. Come back. We're going to do a little bit of a side strengthener. So you're going to want to push either the sole of the foot or the big toe of the left foot into the ground. Feel your thighs engage, your inner thighs. We're going to start to bend to the right side, but I'm not putting my hand down. I'm going to hover it just before the floor so I feel those side body muscles. Left hand can come to the waist to start. Feel that engagement. Watch that you don't drop back, so draw your right thigh forward. So start from there, and then if it's comfortable, we'll just make some circles with the left arm. Inhale, you can reach, and exhale, come back. So stabilizing through your core muscles, particularly the side body muscles. Like you want to touch that ground for a little more support. Not quite yet. You can go the opposite direction with the circles, just swimming your left arm. Make it interesting. And then we will let that right hand come down to the floor slowly. Draw your right thigh forward again. Find your position here, and then see if this time you can lift the left foot up and just play with moving your left heel around. You can internally or externally rotate the thigh. Feel those outer hip muscles. The little glutes get to have a party too. Happy New Year, little glutes. Just moving it around, just like a slight little buoyancy test. Just pulsating. See what you feel there. One more round of movement. Make sure you're keeping that left shoulder up, stacked left shoulder blade on top of the right. If you want a hand extended, you can do that too. A little freedom up there maybe. More air, more space. And then take that left leg down, lift yourself back up strongly. We're going to switch positions. We're going to take the left foot. So it's going to feel a little bit like a warrior two, which we're going to do standing in a bit. But turn the left toes away from your inner right thigh. Stack your knee over your ankle. And just lunge back and forth a few times. You can exhale forward towards that left thigh. Pull back on inhale. Just feeling your left inner groin and a right thigh coming into that space. And then stop. Stack your right hip over your right knee, left knee over the left ankle. Hug your thighs together a little bit. Take your arms up. Reach up on inhale and take it back down. So we're just finding spinal length first, hugging the thighs. Legs are still. One more time down. Next time, lift up. And then we're going to exhale. Take the hands behind us. So hands can just rest on your low back if you want, or you can clasp them into a basket. If you're clasping, draw your elbows away from one another. Inhale, heart forward. Take your gaze up. Remember that cat-cow we did seated. As you exhale, round your spine and come down forward wherever it's comfortable for you. So we have a little more stability here with the floor closer to us. Exhaling. And inhaling, coming up. It's also the option of just keeping your hands at your waist. Always do the practice that fits your body and your emotions, your mind today. There's some days where I really kick myself in the pants and put on the loud music and make myself sweat. And other days, it's quiet and still and so subtle. So what do you need today? How do you make this practice fit you? And next time you come forward and in, we're going to stay there. So instead of rounding your spine in the hold, see if you can extend your spine out. Reach through the crown of the head. You got to hug your thighs together, press into your left heel, and imagine lifting your left thigh bone up towards the sky for a little more support. Little work in this one. And then breathe in. Come back up. We're going to step the left leg in, and we're going to come back into that child's pose-like position, but I want you to take the left knee just a couple inches behind the right knee for this one. So what that'll do is it's going to give our left side more of a stretch because it just did a nice little bit of work for us. Take your right hand forward, arch your back on the inhale, and then exhale, press back just as we did earlier, but that left knee is behind the right. See if you can sense a little more stretching through the left side. Particularly, I like this one for my low back and sacrum, left gluteal muscles, the ones we sit on all day. And then take it back. We're going to stay there. And we're going to make it a little more stretchy for that left side. Begin to walk your hands to the right side of the mat. You can rest your head on the floor. What's sometimes nice is using your right arm as a pillow. Reach through the pinky finger of your left arm. Let the weight of your left rib cage just fall towards your left thigh. And image or experience yourself through the left side. And the subtle body, that's the Ida Nadi. The feminine, the cooling channel, goes all the way up to the left nostril. Our lunar side. You can think of it as being in our rest response, our parasympathetic brain. Everything is a balance, but we can't balance if we don't know what it is we're balancing. So being present in that left Ida, how do you support yourself this year in that cooling lunar cycle? The quiet, contemplative practices that we do. Last breath. Come back up to the center. All fours once again. And then press back on exhalation. Take the hands into that basket. You're going to inhale, both thighs come forward, heart up. Coming back to the center, so we're in more of a position of symmetry. Exhale, dip the head down. So again, if the clasping doesn't work for you, you can place hands on the low back or even at your hip creases. Head down to the ground as we breathe in. Use your thighs and your core so you'll feel the back line of your legs engage as you come up. Coming down slowly, that little bit of argument with gravity. Inhaling up. And exhaling. Slow drop down. One more time up. And this time in the up, we're going to hold. You can keep your hands clasped where they are. You can place your hands around your sacrum, like a little, build yourself a little table, little pedestals for support. But hold that back bend. Draw your thighs forward, hug your inner thighs. If you'd rather clasp, you can do that too. And release. This time it'll be the right leg coming out to the side. So switch the weight into the left knee, come onto the big toe side or flat foot, whatever feels best for you for your right leg. Drop your right hand, take your left arm up, and reach up on the inhalation. Exhale, let your body just sort of fall to the right, reaching slightly through the left hand. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, just sort of pulsating towards the right leg. You might feel this all the way down through your outer left hip, inner thigh of right leg. Watch that we're not back in the back seat. Try to draw your thigh bones forward, the front of your pelvis forward. And finding that space to be steady. Once again, you can focus on that cooling channel on the left side. A little more stability here. Let the breath flow wherever it needs to flow to. Notice where you feel stuck, where you feel resistance. That's part of the practice of slow flow. We don't need to physically move the body. We can move through our breath. Get rid of that stickiness. Come back up. You can take your right hand to your hip. We're going to level down that left hand slowly. So wherever you can sustain, you want to push the right leg into the ground, hug your inner thighs, draw the left thigh bone forward. Just hover that left hand. You can stay there. Sometimes just staying and just moving the torso towards the floor up and down will help you to find those side body muscles. If you want to add a little movement for the arm, you can make some circles. Keep the base of the skull back. So think of it lining up with your sacrum. If we had a pole on your backside, I wouldn't do that to you. That would be way too alignment based. I may have done that in my past. In my past life, reach with your arm again. You can go the opposite direction. Hug your thighs, stay strong. Feel the floor. The ground is still supporting you. And then we'll get ready to settle down. So let the left hand find the ground. Push into the ground. Draw your right shoulder upward. Reach through your left foot. You can keep right hand on your hip. Watch that we haven't gone way to the back seat again. Draw forward. And then see if you can even just lift that right foot up a little bit. I like to turn the toe down for a little more internal rotation. Finding that little gluteal party. And just pulsate the right leg. Little pulsations. Hand can stay at the hip if you want to reach it. I can reach my wall and press into my wall. It gives me a little extra stretch whenever we have something to push into, a little that we meet that restriction with a little push. Feel that strong outer right hip. And let the right leg come down. Lift yourself up with those strong side body muscles. We're going to turn towards the right foot, turn the right foot a quarter of a turn, and just come forward. So ultimately we want to land with the knee about over the ankle, but go back and forth, and the left hip over the left knee. Just give yourself a little juiciness first. And you'll notice if you've got that blanket there, there's a good reason it's nice to have the extra padding. And stabilize at your center. So hug your thighs together. Pause there for a moment. And if you feel like your right knee is falling inward, take your right hand to the outer knee and gently press the outer right knee into your hand. That'll help you to stabilize too. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, hands come back down. So the arms are almost just a distraction, but we're checking to see, do we feel stable from the waist down? Do we feel supported? maybe pressing into the pinky toe side of the right foot a little more, or drawing the inner left thigh towards the right calf, like they want to kiss one another. All right, we found the stability in the legs, so now we take the hands. You can either place them on your low back or make that basket, arms back, heart high. Breathing in, lifting, a little bit of arching or thinking of back bending. As you exhale, come forward towards the right leg. And think of moving not so much the hips and the thighs back. Think of reaching out from the crown of the head and folding through the waist. Inhaling up. Just see how it feels for you. Gravity's going to help you on the way down, but the other side is as you come down, you need that stabilization, hugging the thighs, pressing into the right foot. And you're testing the waters for your hold. See how far you want to go. And remember, there was also the option of just having the hands at the hips or laying on your low back. On the hold, instead of rounding the spine, reach out long, reach the heart and the head forward. Feel the front of the torso hovering over the ground. Last breath out. Breathe in and lift up. You can turn towards the front of the mat. So now the right leg is going to come in and take the right knee just maybe to the back of the left knee is usually about right. It depends on how much stretch you want. Hands back down to the ground, and we'll do that movement of the rounding through the cat on inhale, pressing back towards the child's pose on the exhale. Round into your cat. Press back. See if you can notice a little more stretching going on that right side now, particularly in the back of the hip, the low back. Take the next one back. See if you can settle in there. And once you feel like your torso is settled, the weight of the torso resting into or towards the thighs, begin to walk your right hand over to the left side of the mat. Reach through that pinky finger. You might use your left arm as a pillow if your head's not touching the ground. Giving yourself a moment to be present in the right side. Pingala Nadi, relating to your right nostril, goes all the way up. Say it's the masculine channel of energy, the solar power. It's action related to your left brain, your thinking brain. In that sympathetic system, the go, go, go. And that's the balance. We have a brake pedal and we have a green light. And how do you balance those two? Brake pedal and gas light, and the gas pedal. How can you bring balance to those two in the new year? How do you satisfy this Pingala Nadi, the need for movement and action? Soften the armpit towards the ground. Take a few more breaths into your right lung. And then come back to the center. Walk your hands up. We're going to take the right leg back, just like we did with the left earlier. Press through the heel and just rock back and forth. Stretch out the right leg. One more round there. And then bring the right leg back in. So we're going to be removing the blanket, going to a standing posture. If you want to do any of these on your knees, again, you can. Otherwise, move the blanket aside. Child's pose or down dog. So feel free to take another child's pose if you're in more of the relaxing mode. Otherwise, spread your fingers apart, draw your weight into your thumb and index finger. Lift your knees first, just to feel your core, feel your strength. Slowly lift the hips, keeping the knees bent. So lengthen the spine, head gets to hang, shake it out. Lift your armpits, lift through the tailbone as high as you can, and then just let the heels fall. Don't push them, let them fall with gravity. You might want to bend one knee and the other, walk in place. Feel the back of the neck lengthening as the crown of the head just falls towards the ground. Arms are strong. Imagine dialing your hands out towards the outer edges of the mat, but hugging your lower arms towards one another. Shoulder blades rooting down on the back. At any time, you can be in your child's pose or you can be on your knees. Otherwise, 3 more breaths here. Not moving, but the slow flow is still there, and that we're maintaining a nice pattern of breath. If we're losing that, come down. When you're ready, from your knees or from the down dog, lift your left leg up behind you, reach it behind you, and then we're going to bring it forward. However you need to do that, you can also use your hands. Drop the back foot for a warrior 2 foot position. So coming all the way up to standing. Start with your right leg internally rotating a little bit. Rotate that thigh bone in, press into the pinky toe side, and then just take a few bends into your left knee. See how that suits you today, in and out. So familiar position. We did something just like this when we were down on our knees. Find the warrior legs, stay there, hug the thighs once again. Add your arms, left arm forward, right arm back, gazing over that front middle finger, soften the tops of the shoulders. You can press the pinky finger side of the hand back a little bit, or even flip your palms up and reach the thumbs back. So you can feel the muscles in the upper arms and shoulders engaged, but then plug the arm bones in. Keep that. We're going to do just a nice, easy, slow flow here. Drop your back hand, flip your front palm up. As you breathe in, straighten the front leg, press into the heel, reach up towards the sky. Keep that length through the left side, that Ida Nadi. Breathe out, bend into the knee. Breathe in, straighten the front leg. Breathe out, arms back into your warrior 2, bend the knee again. Breathe in, straighten up, reach up, lengthen your spine, and now we're going to come into triangle pose. So as you breathe out, you can reach forward. If you don't come all the way down to the ground, you can come to your shin. We don't want to put our hand on our knee, but shin, thigh, right arm straight up or forward. So that's going to be our slow moving pattern. Come back up on exhale, bend back into the knee. Inhale, reach back, straighten the front leg. Feel yourself all the way from the toes of the fingers. Take a few breaths there. Left side long. Breathe out, bend into the left knee. Take a few breaths there. Again, check your knee. If you need to press the outer knee into your left hand so we're not collapsing, you can do that. One more round of breath. And then come back to the warrior 2. Breathe in, reach up with both arms, straighten the front leg, draw the right thigh bone up and into the hip. And coming into triangle, reach out and forward. You can press your left hip back, right hip back, wherever your triangle meets you today. So going back into that inner groin. Few rounds of breath. We'll do one more round. Come back up on your inhale. Exhale, bend the knee. Warrior 2. Drop your right hand. Flip your left palm up. No hurry here. Feel, pause. Inhale, reach up and back. Straighten the front leg. So find all that length through the left side first. Breathe out, bend into the front knee. Pause to feel. Sense your breath. Breathe out, back into warrior 2. Breathe in both arms. Extend upward, straighten the front leg, lengthen through your torso. Engage this left leg by drawing the kneecap up your thigh. And then on an exhalation, reach forward, come down into your triangle. Right hand could stay at your waist. You can reach it up, pressing the right shoulder blade, back and up. Hug your thighs. Last breath out. It's time to come out. Just drop your right hand down, bend your left knee, place the hands on the ground. You can drop to your right knee and come to all fours, or you can step it back and come into down dog, choose child's pose or down dog for 5 rounds of breath. Second side, we'll be getting ready to bring the right foot forward. So you can do that from all fours here, just bringing the right leg up and then using your hands to let it come forward. Or from the down dog, lift the right leg up as you breathe in, extend. Breathe out, squeeze it in. We used those hip flexors earlier. Step the foot down. Turn the left foot, quarter of a turn. Come on up, right leg straight first. So we want to establish the back leg, pressing into the pinky toe side. Lift the arch of the foot just a little bit. Rotate that thigh bone forward and in. And once the left leg is strong, bend in and out of the right knee a few times. Say hello. Introduce yourself. New year, different body every day. Stabilize through your legs, wherever that may be. Maybe press the outer knee towards the pinky toe side of the right foot. Arms reaching. You can flip those palms up. Take your thumbs back. Plug the arm bones into the shoulder girdle. Relax the shoulders down. Hugging the thighs. And then we'll reach up on the inhalation. Lengthen all the way from the right toes through the fingers. Breathe out. Bend into the right knee. So take your time finding the posture. And then just breathe in that posture. Exhale back into the warrior two. Pausing there. Breathe in, lift everything. Press into your feet. Lift your pelvis, your rib cage. Align your shoulders over your hips. And now we'll be doing a triangle pose. So as you breathe out, reach the right arm forward. Kick the left hip towards the back of your mat. Maybe just coming down a little bit this first time. See how it feels. You can take your hands. So if your hand's in your thigh or your calf, push the hand into the calf or thigh. It'll help to engage the inner thigh line and also help you to rotate. Exhale, bend the knee. Back into the warrior two. So we'll do 2 more rounds, nice and slow. Inhale, straighten the front right leg. Reach through the right hand. So notice the left leg is staying stable and unchanged. It's our support leg. We always have something in our lives that's stable and unchanged, but we tend to pay more attention to what's transitioning, right? Feel that stability. Exhale back into the front knee. One more inhalation. Exhale, warrior two. Reach the arms. Inhale, lift the pelvis, hug the inner thigh bones, reach up, shoulders over the hips. Keep the front leg straight as you exhale, reaching forward for Trikonasana, and find that position for yourself. If you feel like your arm is just sort of floating around, take it to your waist and then work on rolling the left shoulder blade to the back. Crown of the head reaches forward. And we got 3 rounds, right? So each time you can take it a little deeper if your body wants, if it's meeting you today where you want it to. Lift back up on exhalation, bend the knee. Last round. Inhale. Right toes to right fingers lengthening, lifting. Notice if you can feel what parts of your skin are stretching. And then exhale into the front knee. Where is the division line in your body of what feels like it's going towards the earth and what's reaching up towards the sky? Exhale back into the warrior two. Pause there. Inhale, straighten, hug the inner thighs, reach up. So if you're turning it all, turn towards the long edge of the mat, stacking shoulders over the hips. Draw the right kneecap up your thigh. So engage that leg. Reach forward, press into the pinky toe side of the right foot. And exhale, triangle pose. Make it fit your body. Stay in the flow of breath. Use your breath to free any restrictions. I got a nice one on my left hip. Where's yours today? Last breath in. And then breathe out. Dropping the left hand down. Feel free to bend the left knee and drop down onto it. Or hands to the ground, step back into your down dog. Taking 5 rounds of breath in either down dog or child's pose. Going to have you slowly, and you can be on your knees for this, that's okay. Walk your hands back to your knees. If you're in your down dog, same thing, walk all the way. We're going to finish this practice with some balance. We all need balance, right, for the new year. So we're going to come up to standing again. Find your way wherever you want to balance on your mat. Shift your weight into your left foot. So notice how your torso goes that way. How far do you have to go into the left hip? And we'll go into tree pose first. When you're comfortable, take your right foot. If you like to do upper thigh, that's good. I prefer not to do knee, so either above or below the knee. Press the calf into the foot and the foot into the calf, and then draw the right knee back. Stabilize. How do we find balance? And it's the balance of all those complementary opposites. The pushing into, the pulling away from. We have an opportunity in yoga to feel all these on the mechanical level, the physical level. And then what does that mean for our brain, our mind? How can we balance the complementary opposites, the happy, the sad, the good, the bad? We're going to do one more balance pose while we're feeling steady on the left leg. So use the strength of your hip flexors in your right leg and draw it up. Not your hands, but the strength of the hip flexors. Draw it up as far as you can. So option to just take your right hand to your shin, and you might hold it there. If you can get your right hand to your pinky toe side of your foot, go for it. You can stay there. If you want to go a little further today because you're feeling playful, extend that right leg out. Push the foot into the hand. There's the resistance. Wherever your left arm needs to go to balance you. Draw up through your left leg. So plug the left thigh into the hip. Steady, balanced, strong, and gorgeous, might I add, right? Even if you're shaking. Shake that down slowly. Let the right leg come down. Thank you, left leg, for all the strength and balance in all the places that you'll take us this year. And switch it over. Come into your right leg. Time for the other side. And once you're there, tree pose first. And remember, you can also do tree pose just with the toes on the ground and heel to the inner calf. The idea is to transfer your weight, and that happens at any level, to feel the density of your bones in your right leg. And they like that. Your bones like the weight, regardless of where the left foot is. Pause to be steady. For me, it's pause to be steady and listen to Bodhi snoring. I don't know if you're getting that on camera, but It's like white noise after all these years. Do you have a dog that snores with you when you practice? And then we're going to switch our second balance posture. So start to bring that left leg in. Use the muscles to engage. Functionally draw the thigh towards you, top of the foot towards the shin. So there's our test. Are we feeling balanced in the right leg? So we don't want to lock that right knee. Keep it slightly soft. That gives us more buoyancy. And you can just grab your shin. If it's available, take your hand to the inside of the thigh, hand to the outside, the pinky toe side of the foot. That's the next level. You can stay there still. Or see if today it wants to extend out. The beauty of the challenge. Take a few breaths. If you're really serious faced right now, it happens all the time in balance poses. I see it. Turn the corners of your mouth into a smile. It lightens the load, I promise. Wherever you are, one more round of breath. That's true in life too. Turn the corners of your mouth up more often this year. Drop the foot down. Beautiful. Take it down. We're going to come down onto the ground. Pausing. You can come through your malasana, your squat, slowly. And coming all the way onto our back. So one of my old school ways of teaching is to finish with what we started. And we're going to do that today. So you can grab your legs, take your hands to the backs of the thighs, exhale, draw your thighs in. Inhale, push them away. And notice any changes, they might be on the physical level and more noticeable, but also notice your breath and mentally and any subtle body changes. Where does your awareness flow now into your body as you're doing this posture that we started our practice with? Is it more easy to stay present in your body? Or maybe you're thinking it's the end, I'm done. I want to let all of these postures sort of percolate in our body and in our breath. Exhaling, bringing them in. If you liked that extension, you're welcome to do that again, just stretching the legs out. And remember, you can keep your legs wider apart, closer together. But the simplicity of coming back to this gentle Uppanasana, letting all of these movements to our breath come together. Feeling the support of the ground underneath us. And that is that balance of complementary opposites, right? We did a balance pose, which may have challenged us in gravity, and now we've got gravity as our best friend. Last one, hug your knees into your chest, and this time just do some nice rolls. You can rock side to side. We're going to end with a reclining twist here. The classic reclining twist. So if it feels okay to keep the knees drawn in, you can take your left arm out to your side, press the left shoulder blade into the ground and drop the knees. If that feels like it's too much today, feet to the ground, and then let the knees just fall from there to the right. Otherwise, draw those knees in, take it over. If you like a little extra support, you've got your blanket there. It could go underneath the bottom knee, or what I really like is in between the knees. It gives that left hip a little more comfort for me. Knees can stay bent, or I very much enjoy in my body extending the top left leg, getting a little more into those outer glutes. Nice outer hip stretch. Options that are available to you and choosing the one that's right for you. Turning your head wherever it wants to go today. Keep relaxing the left shoulder. Take 5 breaths here. So we're turning We're twisting the hips to the right. You can take your head and look over your left shoulder. So in certain practices, we say that the left side represents our past. And I know I had quite an exciting year in 2022. If I look at my most immediate past in this annual tradition, think for yourself. Go into your past and what is it you want to bring forward with you? What no longer serves you? You might even breathe in your nose. And as you breathe out, blow out your mouth. Like you're blowing that past goodbye. Blow it away. Come back to the center. Bring your legs back. Resituate your pelvis at your center and draw your knees in again and just make some circles. Rock side to side before we do the second side. So option 1, the feet will go to the floor, right arm out to your side, keeping that right shoulder blade grounded and just dropping the knees. And again, option to bring a blanket in between the knees or underneath that bottom knee, or hug the knees into your body and then drop them over to the left. Any supports? Got to get clever with my toes here. Put the blanket between my thighs. So let the torso settle, the hips. Sense the rotation. Hips going to the left. Head can go to the right. Option to extend the left leg. Extend the right leg, the top leg. I'm definitely going into my right brain now. Speaking your right, looking over your right shoulder. The tradition is that your right side, looking over the right shoulder, represents the future. Finish with your mind in that gazing point. If we flow slowly through the year, we always have the ability to look back and learn and let go and look forward, manifest, create. Last round of breath. Turn your head to the center. Release your legs from whatever form they're in. Come back to the center. Find your Shavasana if you still have that blanket. It's really nice to put it on top of you. Snuggle in for a warm winter's nap. We'll be here I'm going to give you a few minutes. You're always welcome to stay longer. I encourage that. It's these inner practices when you're no longer listening to me and just the silence that really allow us to create the space that fruitful space that we need to flow slowly through the year. Being present in body and breath. We started with right hand on the belly, left hand on the heart, and we did that as a way to breathe fully, that diaphragmatic breathing. But now you can do it more as placement holders for your energetic body. Thinking of your navel, your solar plexus, your heart. A representation of power and love. And the presence of awareness in your slow and now natural breath. Notice as it comes back into its soft, sweet rhythm. Maybe you can even feel your heartbeat underneath your left hand. Sense the heart, the physical heart, as it comes back into its resting pace. The body completely supported. Every exhalation reminds you the ground is there for you, almost wrapping itself around you. I just had the image of laying in the lawn in summertime and the feeling of the grass sort of hugging your skin from the backside, creeping up the sides, the softness of the baby grass. Please feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. Let the video come to an end and just be present in your space. When you're ready to get up, come to your side first and pause. Whichever side you land on today. Wherever you are today and the next week and the next week, I'm grateful that you're here with me today and we're together. Thank you for all your support, and I'm looking forward to another year with all of you embodied YouTube yogis. Keep the comments coming. They really motivate me. I appreciate all of your support on Patreon and donations. Keep in touch. Let me know where you are. Peace, joy, love, and light.